Hello and welcome to another one of my videos, and in today's video I'm going to do something new. It's called shouting because my mic is awful. I am going to try and address it for a third time. Please bear with me. I'll see what I can do. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about quantitative easing and the price effects on gold. Now firstly, this is what these are my opinions, so that have been formed over the various anecdotal research that I've done. It's not scientific by any way, shape or form. It's purely based on intuition and what the price has done over the last maybe 10 to 12 years. So for those of you that don't know, the Bank of England has just put out a notice that they were potentially going to be putting another £150 billion of liquidity into the market via their bond purchasing program. This scares the hell out of me. I'm really worried because this is round number 5 of QE. QE was meant to be a short-term solution when it was thought up. It was financial wizardry at its finest. And unfortunately, I think this may be edging us close towards the end of the road. Now, I'm not someone who says doom and gloom and buy my stuff. That's not what I'm about. But I am worried, and I'm worried with good reason, because you can look at asset prices and they've been on massive rallies over the last few years, and there's a reason for that. You know, they've played with the money supply. They've messed the game up towards the detriment of our children. It's not going to be pretty over the next 20 years. Not in terms of inflation. They have a national target of hitting 2% inflation. Nowhere near. You know, they say they're hitting it. Well, you go down the high street, like sometimes things can be 30 to 40% more expensive. You speak to any person doing the shopping, they'll tell you what's going up in price. The inflation is often rigged to suit the people reporting the stats. It's just glossing over the cracks, or papering over the cracks. Sorry. So what is QE and what has happened since they invented this financial wizardry? Essentially, in 2009 they put £200 billion into the market to try and get it going again after the crash that was too big for most firms to fail, i.e. the banks. I'm not a bank hater. I think banks have a great part to play in society, but I think they have too much power. That's my view on it. I might go into detail about it another day, not today. So in July 2012, they added another 175 billion into the market. In August 2016, they added another 60 billion into the market. When the coronavirus hit in March 2020, so this year, they added another 210 billion pounds onto the market. And they've just agreed a package to put another 150 billion pounds onto the market, coming up on the 18th. Scary times. Now, I said there wouldn't be any stats. What I did was I've looked at the graph. I've kind of lived through this, you know. I've been keeping my eye on gold and silver since I was at university. So when I was 18 years old, I gave a presentation on unconventional investments when I was 18, and I chose silver. Also chose art and wine, but that's by the by. I thought silver was primed for doing well, and it actually took off before it crashed. So I did okay in that. I got a good mark as well, actually. So if we look at just a simple chart, you can go to any provider. I tend to use bullion by post. I've never shot from them. I think they're overpriced, but they have pretty good charts, you know. So going back to November 2009, the first round of quantitative easing, you could have picked up an ounce of gold for around the £660 mark. And it's risen and risen and risen. It's more than double that now. So you look at July 2012, and it was around the £1,000 mark. You look at August 2016, again, it was around the £1,000 mark, 1,040-ish. it's only recently that it's really started to get interesting. So last couple of years, it's really spiked. I think they've lost control. I think that they cannot solve this problem. Now, I am a big fan of debt. As some people know, I think debt is a wonderful tool. But like all tools, it can be used to build grand structures, or it can be used to take your fingers off, or more. I think that in this case, they're probably taking their arm off. They've got no system to get the money supply back under control. Interest rates are next to nothing. There's not a lot they can do in terms of monetary policy. It's worrying. It really is. Now, the question that I posed was, what do I think will happen with another successive round of quantitative easing? I think this stuff's going to go up. I genuinely do. That's not me saying buy from me, you know. I have a vested interest in selling gold because it pays my bills. Gold and silver and other coins, you know. But I genuinely think that the system's out of whack. I said to a customer and friend of mine, I said that I have a theory that all this money that's being put into the system has found itself into the gold market and the stock market. I think that when the shit hits the fan, which it will do, it may not be now, it may not be in the immediate future, but I don't see how it can't. We was having credit bubbles long before this virus came along. I think the stock market's going to tank, but I think the gold market will do okay. So I'm going long on this stuff. The more I can add to my reserves, the better. This isn't all my reserves. Some of this is stock, some of it's mine, you know. Stuff like this. I kept this because I enjoy it. I like to get it out on camera because I think it's a great coin. You know, I've got sovereigns in here, that part of my reserve. I'm personally building a stake. And I'm building a stake because I believe that there's going to be another few rounds of quantitative easing before we're done. It may not be within the next year or two, but I don't know how they can not do it. I just don't know how. I don't think they're in a situation where they can help us win. You know, I think with debt, you can run up the hill, you borrow, you repay it back, and you get more productivity. I think there's so much money in the market, it's just going to cause problems elsewhere. So I'm going long. I think QE is going to make gold go even higher. I've got 17 to 1800 penciled in. You know, that's me planting my flag in the sand, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's not me giving professional advice. You know, that's my sell point. That's me saying this is what I believe. So I hope you like the video. It's just my thoughts on the market because it flashed up on my news feed. If you do like, then please like, comment and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope it's slightly better than mine because I haven't slept well for the past week and it's doing me in. So take care, guys. Bye.